Hello, welcome to Language Arts today. Yesterday we talked about spelling, adjectives to compare, and adjectives comparing, but now we're going to be talking about comparing adverbs. So let's quick review what an adverb is. Remember, an adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So it describes about the verb. So if we say we live temporarily in this world, temporarily is how we live. It's temporarily describes the verb. Temporarily is the adverb. It's describing, modifying the verb live, telling you how we live. One more example would be the children sang loudly. So sang is our verb. Loudly is how they sang. So our adverb is telling you about the verb, describing the verb, how they sang. So now we're going to be introduced to three runners. We have Paul, Eric, and Mark. Now Paul says, I run fast. And Eric says, I run faster. And remember, Eric is just comparing him and Paul. So that's two people, and we added an ER. So just kind of like our adjectives. He's saying, I run faster than Paul. So remember, just two people we're comparing. Then Mark says, I run fastest of all. So Mark is saying, I run fastest out of all three of you. That's two more. He's talking about more than two people. And just like our adjectives, when we compare EST, is when we're comparing more than two people. So now we have Paul said, I run fast. Eric said, I run faster. And Mark said, I run fastest of all. So notice Paul is just talking about himself, no ending. Eric's just talking about Paul and Eric, and he added an ER. Mark said, I run fastest of all. He's talking about all three of them, and he added an EST. So it shows how we are comparing. And so these words, fast, is all talking about how they run. Run is their verb, so these are all of our comparing adverbs. So now let's go over some examples. So today we're going to be use adverbs to compare. So the first thing I do is read my instructions. Complete the sentence with the correct form of the adverb. So John reads much blank now than when he was in first grade. So it's talking about now in first grade. We're just talking about two things. So I'm going to first, I think it ends in ER since we're just talking about two things. But before I click on it and press submit, I'm going to read it. John reads much faster now than when he was in first grade. So let's see. And there we go. Whoop. Hold on. Let's try another one. All right, complete the sentence with the correct form of the adverb. We now understand Earth formation blank than we did before. So now also what to point out is we're also going to be using most and more. More is just like our two things, RE. Most, it sounds like our EST. We're going to use that when we're talking about more than two things. So we now understand Earth's formation more fully than we did before. All right, of all the students in his math class, Henry tries, so we're talking about out of all of the students, so we're going to say hardest because ending in EST means we're talking about more than two people. So just like our adjectives, we're going to be using ER for two things and EST for more than two things, but for adverbs, we're also going to add more is just two things. And then when we say most, we're talking about more than two things. So add these to your notes with the ER and the EST. And that is it for today. Thank you and have a good rest of your day. Bye.